And then it was down to one. Welcome to the series finale of the John Bierlein Memorial King of Dirt series. We are live from Knoxville in the 410 Wing Sprint cars. Tony Trapasso off the booth, joined with by my partner in crime, Mr. James Riles. And James, we're in for a treat tonight.
Yeah, that we are. I know I got to call the first race in, I believe it was the Big Block Modifieds.
Late models.
And it was just late models. Yes, you're right. It's the super lates, the rocket ships. And it was an absolute blast. Everybody came out to support the Bierleins, and it's just been a fantastic ride, honestly.
Yeah, it absolutely has. At that, in the eSports Broadcasting Network, it has been our complete pleasure to bring this race to the masses.
Oh, thank you so much. It being broadcast is just, that helps so much. Family and friends can watch, and they really get a kick out of it, because we talk about it all the time, the iRacing. A lot of people don't understand, and a lot of them have been able to watch, and they just love it. They get a kick out of it. They're like, it's so realistic. And I tell you, the iRacing really was a savior.
Anne-Marie, I don't mean to interrupt, but
that's okay.
Why am I hearing music?
I don't know. I don't hear anything.
I don't hear any music.
Oh, no, that's on my end. Sorry, folks. Forgot to mute a source. But, again, it's been our privilege to bring these races that we've been able to bring to the masses. And that source is it's been our privilege to bring these races that we've been able to bring to the masses.
Now, Ms. Bierlein, you were saying, you were talking about how realistic it is, and just showing everybody kind of what you do. That's what we're here for. But what has been the reception to seeing what your son's been able to do on the track here in the sim?
Well, it's been amazing. They love watching Aiden. A lot of them have seen Aiden race karts in real life, and to see it on here, because when John got really sick, we had to stop racing, unfortunately, in real life. And we're a racing family, I guess you could say. Kind of addicted to racing, and it was a savior, because John, when he was sick, he could watch the races live. He would lay down on the couch and be able to watch on our TV, and he just really got into it and got everybody else into it. So it's just really amazing, and we're thankful that iRacing has been an avenue to keep Aiden kind of in the seat, so to say, and be able to help us watch him still race.
Well, Anne-Marie, I'm going to let you break the news to everybody, as we did receive word earlier of big things happening.
Oh yes, we were so blessed. Aiden used to race, when he raced karts, he did it under Hermie Sadler Premier Racing Karts. And Hermie has reached out to us and said that he would like to help Aiden get back in the seat for a few races under Premier with a Premier kart, which is such a blessing. I mean, we were shocked that he did that. I mean, that's a lot. People don't realize kart racing is very competitive, but it's a lot of fun. And we're just so thankful that Hermie did that. And we've also had the McDaniels, another racing family that we absolutely love. reach out to us and say that Aiden's welcome to race their kart a few times next season. So, I mean, just those alone have just been amazing. And we've had other offers too along the same avenue, but we're just very grateful.
Absolutely is. It's awesome that, so many people have stepped up and have been agreeing to help Aiden further his racing career, get back in the seat and so forth. And that's really what I love about the iRacing community is James and I have never met in person yet, but I consider him my brother from another mother still. And that's the thing is when tragedy strikes, the iRacing community, we're always there to try to bring notice to a cause, bring races to the masses to try to help a good cause. And James, I don't know about you, but I think this is probably one of the best causes we've done this year so far.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime we have an opportunity just to reach out and speak with families of that have gone through that grief, but having able to have the support that you have, just know that iRacing is such a huge community, and even being touched here by being able to do this, I feel like you just have so much support from us. You can always reach out to us, and of course, huge shout out to Josh for getting us connected and really making this happen.
Absolutely. And I believe Josh is still in here with us. Josh, thank you so much for putting this on.
Oh, absolutely. It was my pleasure. And actually, James, you have some of your broadcasters, I can't remember their name, to thank because we had a situation with one of our other charity races that Dave and I were putting on where we had a broadcaster back out last second, and Sim Racing Media reached out to us saying they would not only cover it, but cover it for free. And that was a massive help a few months ago. I'm not sure if you guys remember that.
That was James and John in the booth for that one.
Yeah, a bunch of dirt guys on the asphalt. It didn't go well, but hey, we were there for a good cause.
So you're confirming sprint cars at Atlanta next race?
Ooh.
I would do silver crowns if anything, because that's kind of fun. But sprint cars, you're taking your life in your own hands, and those things. Yeah. The pavement sprint cars are just ornery.
Yeah.
And joining us now is Mr. David Allen. And Dave, your connection with this is what? Because that was not explained to me, sir.
So I am the setup builder for Elite Performance Industries, and obviously we sell our sets to other racers on iRacing, and I don't like to charge people for really anything, so I just donate all of my proceeds back to a charity, and not a charity per se, but a family in need.
A good cause.
So a good cause. This is the third one now, and what a better person we couldn't. I mean, immediately we said, Josh and I said, we have to do one for Aiden. So we usually they're just one race. We wanted to make this one a little bit bigger. So we came up with the King of the Dirt, and everybody's been a massive help that has to put this on, and we're really, really excited about being able to help out and just give back. It's not a cart, but give back something to the Bierlein family.
Absolutely, and everything is greatly appreciated. I'm sure Anne-Marie can vouch for that one. And Anne-Marie, there's a GoFundMe link on the Bierlein Racing Facebook page, correct?
Oh yes, but just everything done here and everybody watching, friends and family, and all the drivers coming out and supporting us. That's really enough. Honestly, we're just grateful for that. So, and I can't thank Josh enough and Dave for doing this. I mean, again, this is amazing. And one thing I love about the iRacing community, it doesn't matter what team you're on, what setup shop you're with. We had all different teams come out, all different setup shops come out to support Aiden. And Aiden started at a young age of, I think it was 12 or 13 on iRacing. So they've seen him all kind of grow up a little bit and been really supportive through everything. And that's what I love. And I want to, again, thank everybody, the drivers. And again, Josh, I know this was a lot on you. You did awesome, though. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. And that's, I've kind of found my niche in iRacing for race promotion and league promotion. And Like I said, I told Aiden, I'm not sure if I told you, but the day that John passed, I had no less than 10 messages asking me to put this race on, asking me if I was going to do some, from people who wanted to help, because everybody kind of just assumed I would put something on. And I gave them the same answer that something was already in the works. And before John had passed, this was going to be Aiden and Anne-Marie and John at the time. They were going to be our next charity event for EPI. Dave and I had already decided on that, and decided that we really wanted to blow the roof off it. Unfortunately, before we were able to do that, John did pass, and now it is turned into a memorial. But it was already in the works previously, and this just gave us more motivation to blow the roof off it even further. And we're not done this year. You know, come July and August of next year, we'll be doing the same thing right back here again for the second annual. So
that's amazing. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And it just if I could just add one more thing,
yes, sir.
Anne-Marie, I just wanted to let you know that we did manage to raise over $1,600, and every person that has finished in the top 3 in every race so far has donated their money back. So that's not counting that, but just everything else alone, all between the donations, entry fees, it has come out to over $1,600.
Wow. I'm trying not to cry. That's amazing. Thank you, everybody.
Well, the good news is, and I was talking with Josh about this earlier, with Aiden going back into kart racing, that's at least a couple sets of tires and an engine rebuild. So
yeah, at least. Yeah. Actually, you know, what we've decided to do with the funds raised from that in our GoFundMe is we wanted to have a custom urn design for John, and we're working on that, and this will really help with that, and so that's what we're going to do.
That's fantastic.
Very cool. Very cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Anne-Marie, I believe you're going to be back with us a little bit later in the event, closer to a feature time. And we're going to take this moment while we still have a little bit of a break here before the qualifying session. We are going to step away, pay a couple bills, and we'll be right back after this.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Well, oh, they're wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
And we are back from high above the Knoxville Speedway in Knoxville, Iowa, the home of sprint car racing, the world center of sprint car racing. As you can see right there on the exit of turn 2 on the right side of your screen, That is the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, located in very picturesque Knoxville, Iowa. Again, you are watching night number 4, race number 5 in the John Bierlein Memorial King of the Dirt series. 410 sprint cars here tonight at Knoxville. And James, this track has a tendency to go dry, slick, quick. And I dare say that by the time the feature is over, these guys are going to be wearing all the lettering off that right rear Hoosier tire.
Yeah, and that's what we're really here for. We're here to watch these guys go all out for John and Aiden. And yeah, it's going to be a blast. I'm super excited about it. 50-lap feature. Everybody's going to make it. We are going to run some heats, though. Kind of determine the orders. But yeah, it's going to be a blast. They're going to run the right rear off, keep those things suckered into the ground, and dig.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can kind of see that just after the warm-up session, already see some slick spots starting to form there. The exit of 4, the entrance of 1, the exit of 2, and the entrance of 3, where everybody's been running. It's kind of slick down there. So anybody that can get the bottom figured out early is going to definitely have a climb forward, at least in the early goings here. Still, I've yet to see what the heat races are going to look like as they are just finishing up their drivers' meeting, and we'll be going right into solo qualifying, and that's usually done and dusted pretty quickly. But while we're waiting on that to start, we are going to pull up the race info here tonight. 78-degree ambient air temperature, 56% relative humidity, only 2-mile-an-hour winds, and the track temperature very cool at only 70 degrees. That 56% water grain in the air, that means that these methanol engines are going to be making gobs of horsepower.
Yeah, as well as what that humidity does is it keeps that moisture in the track for just a little bit longer than you would expect. And the sun's not out. It's not baking that out. The water truck got out there, did his dues. So it just makes for tackier racing. It's just going to wear out so much slower, and I just love that kind of racing. These lines are going to develop more progressively over time.
Yeah, absolutely. I dare say that when we see the heat races, we're going to see some guys going to the bottom side, which, James, I know you can vouch for, you as you've been around here a number of times in multiple cars. You don't want to go too far to the bottom because there is a berm in there in the middle of the corners that kind of tells you, hey, you can't go, you're not supposed to be lower than this. And it'll really unsettle the front end of a car if you dip a tire onto it.
Oh, yeah, and that's really, the infield tire rule, like anything inside there, you can get it just a snap to help you get that slide job you're looking for, but you better have some grip as you come up the track because you're going to be a rocket up the field into whoever you're trying to pass, and usually that doesn't really turn out too well for the car that does the slide job. This is one of the... Go ahead.
That's writing off a chassis real quick. Normally on the dirt side of things, we keep saying don't eat the powdered donuts. As we saw at Kokomo, there were a couple of guys that unfortunately did take a mouthful of powdered donut and rip the front suspension off their cars.
Yeah, and these things, usually you're worse off if you're the slider, and that's not really the case for the full body cars. But these midgets take a licking and keep on spitting pretty hard.
Absolutely, as we are just waiting. Okay, practice session coming to an end. Lone qualifying, getting ready to roll it here as we're waiting for the first takers to get out on track. Looks like Jason Waller Jr. is going to be the first one to start it rolling. There's Jason, as he's just coming out on track, trying to get that car up to speed. 2 laps of solo qualifying here tonight. As we are going to have the box on the left side of the screen for the qualifying. Waller going to be the first one to really honk on one here. First time in the books for Waller. Goes to the top of the pile as Jonathan Packett immediately bumps him off in the 48. Garrett Halsey on a run right now. As Halsey goes to the top of the pile, you can see the green means it's your best personal lap. The purple means you're the best in the session. Is David Allen cranking one off right now, and he goes to the top of the pile. It's Catch me if you can, and how low can you go? Limboing here in qualifying is that lap time is now down to 14.54. That is flying around a relatively flat half mile.
Yeah, and that's the thing that this lacks for Knoxville. What it lacks in slope, it makes up for in just sheer size. You can pull a 7 or 8 wide salute on this track, and it really gives you that extra way to kind of slam it in there, carry that speed through, and not worry about digging into that outside wall too bad.
Absolutely. So we're watching Aiden Bierlein right now try to lay one down. Joey Lingrun just jumped to the top of the pile with a 14.51. Aiden's first lap, only a 15.13. Down onto the lower side, just flirting with that berm down there. And there's going to be a couple shots that we're going to see down the back straightaway that you're going to really be able to pick that up. As Bierlein to the top of the pile.
As Aiden, he's already got at least one win in the series. Remind me, Tony.
2.
2 wins so far in the series. So I'm going to put a question in the poll. Can Aiden make this his 3rd win of the series to prove that he is king of the dirt here?
My bet would be a definite maybe. And if you can figure that one out, folks, you're a better person than I am. So all 17 haulers that have unloaded cars here in the infield have already posted their times. Aiden Bierlein starting atop the pile, so he is going to be in the catbird seat, at least going into heat race number 1. We don't necessarily have enough drivers for the whole alphabet soup to take place, but heat race number 1 out there right now is... let us show the lineup here. If I can get my poop in a group. There we go. Aiden Bierlein going to be starting up on point after setting quick time in qualifying. First one to go, sub 14.5 with a 14.5 or 4.5. David Allen going to be starting outside. Garrett Halsey and Brandon Veer is going to start it in row number 2, with row 3 going to Jimmy Barr and Jesse Hare. So only 6 cars scheduled to roll it here in heat race number 1, and they're doing things a little bit differently than we're used to. They're going to be running this like the Open Nationals that are taking place this week. 360s this week. The Open Nationals will be next week for the 410s, and you don't transfer directly into the A main. You transfer into one of the 2 semifinal races, and then you transfer into the A. But with the number of cars we have here tonight, we should get just about everybody into the A feature, as Bierlein leads them around, and the one of David Allen having the big blinkies there under the pacing here, something we're going to need to keep an eye on as the night wears on, as the pace truck has already picked up some speed, and it's trying to get away from the pack here as we are getting ready to turn them loose.
Yeah, we all know in the heats what can happen is this determines whether you start up front or have to work your way through, as there's Aiden going to bring them around, kind of letting the pace truck get out there, a little bit of realism. They don't have pace trucks in real life, Tony. So he's just letting it get out there. It's going to be on leader.
And we've already got 2 cars heading towards the pits. Jesse Hare and Jimmy Barr have both had an issue under pacing, so this is going to be a 4-car, 10-lap shootout here. As Bierlein jumps on the hammer and starts to pull a lead already. Halsey keeping him honest, though, as Halsey's holding down a very solid second place. David Allen up there as well. As Halsey jumps the cushion on the exit of 4, that's going to let Allen get to him.
Definitely Allen's going to get the second. Then we got Aiden way up front there trying to drive away with it. He wants to see them start throwing those sliders, keep fighting, but that's not what it looks like. Here comes the number 2, David Allen, in the 1 car. The 01 going to try and make it up as Aiden just put down the fastest lap of the race. He's not getting any slower. A good time now, Tony, when you've got the 4, you don't want to mess your car up before you head any farther. This is a great time to find your racing line and switch it up and see where you're fast.
Exactly.
Under speed.
This is where you want to play with it. and you want to, make sure that you understand what's going to happen later on. You're searching for moisture right now is basically all you're doing. And you can see right now everybody down on that low side where there is still moisture in the track for now. But you can see on the entrance of 3 and the exit of 4 for that matter, the track's starting to get real shiny to it. And that shine means one thing, and that's not good.
Yeah, to the uninitiated, what that looks like is, that's wetter than everything else. That's why it's shiny. Nope, that is rubber. These cars put down rubber, believe it or not. These tires are spinning so fast, all that sliding, all that dirt puts down that rubber, and rubber on rubber actually makes it a lot slicker in these things. So be careful. You want to stay out of the slick.
It's akin to if you're north of the Mason-Dixon, it's like trying to drive over a bridge after a snowstorm, and it's nothing but ice.
Yeah, that black ice.
That's exactly what it is. And it's got about as much grip as that, too. As Bierlein, 2 to go, has just set sail. Over a second and a half to the good over David Allen. Allen's another second to the clear over Garrett Halsey. And Brandon Veers started 4th, is running 4th, as, he's keeping pace with Halsey, not letting him get too far out. And, everybody's just searching and trying to figure out what they've got to do. Checkered flag in the air as Bierlein brings it out of 4 for the final time of heat race number 1. There we go. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. So heat race number 1 in the books. Aiden Bierlein, David Allen, Garrett Halsey, and Brandon Veers definitely moving on to the first round of the semifinals. Jimmy Barr only 2 laps down after having an issue with Jesse Hare when things got rolling there under the pace laps. And James, heat race number 2 starting to grid.
Yeah, starting to get grid. And in first, of course, in the pole position, we got Joey Lindgren. Then Mason Coffey in the 52 on his outside. Row 2 is going to be Heavy Allen with Jason Waller Jr. Then we got Trevor Meyer and Sarah Yervais up there. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Do apologize if I'm not. A lot of solid drivers here.
Absolutely. Another heat race of 6. We've only got 15 here, so next heat race should be a 5-car affair, as Mason Coffey missing the grid. Well then, that's a sticky wicket. As the field starts to roll behind the Chevy Silverado pace truck, the official pace truck of iRacing. And there you see him. And one of the guys that was flirting with the powdered donuts last week, or earlier this week, this past Tuesday, at Kokomo, is that man in the 16. He was not afraid to throw that slider line. And he's got a whole lot more room to pull it off here tonight at Knoxville.
Yeah, a ton of room, and we've seen these guys. These guys are pros. That's why Aiden has such a following behind him. He races in the Pro Series, and he brings the pros along. That's why actually a lot of the folks aren't here. You see a smaller field count because these guys are either at the race, the IRL races right now, or they might be driving in them. That's what's amazing about this community. But sliders galore. If you haven't checked out that super late model feature, go do so now, afterwards. Actually, not right now. We got some racing, but it was absolutely a blast.
Well, Lindgren now has the button as the pace truck is off on the middle of the back straightaway. Actually, it's picked up pace. It's getting ready to pull on off. So Lindgren can fire from any time from the entrance of 3 to the exit of 4 as he brings them out of 4, gets it pointed straight, and jumps on the loud pedal. Lindgren, Waller, and Allen jumping out to your top 3.
Joey Lindgren getting it moving, but behind him, Waller and Allen have not got it settled. There they go. These sprint cars, the fights happen so quickly. They just throw it up in that beautiful paint job the 13 has, as we are watching him try and make it. There we go. Lindgren to the high line, gets a huge run off the top. Waller trying to work the bottom. There they go. They switch it up. See if they can make something happen and just get those laps down.
Absolutely. Is Lingrun having connection issues? Waller, though, it's got to be unnerving for Waller as he goes 15-0. Mason Coffey just cranked off a 15:02 after pit starting. And, Waller's got his hands full right now with Allen for second.
Yeah, definitely. Allen just gets in there, and these distances aren't as much as they seem, folks. This is about 0.4 seconds back, but it closes so quickly depending on if you hit the wall, if you get into some sticky. You have to have that forward drive, as Lingrun has done so. He is absolutely gone. But the last lap, Joey Waller actually was up about half a second on him, so we'll see what he can do to get up there. There we go, Allen trying to get to the back of Jason Waller, unable to do so.
We're on the nose of Allen's car right now. You can see just how close these guys are getting with all that dust and rocks getting thrown up. Those are chunks of clay that you're seeing being thrown at Allen's car off of Waller's tires. And you can see just how big that split is in the stagger. The right rear is so much bigger than the left. And with a solid rear axle, that's the only way these cars are able to turn.
Yeah,
Lingrun just ate the wall.
Yeah, Lingrun in the wall, but Allen is taking a very unconventional line here that Waller is having to defend. Allen, you see him, he kind of dives it into this turn and then lets it float up naturally, and he is making up time. It's just going to be interesting to see where he decides to pass. He's kind of already doing the slider line, but we'll see when he gets right up next to him how that's going to shake out, because you can go around him, you can't go through him.
Well, you can go through him, but you're not a nice driver if you do so. And we've all met that guy.
Yeah, well, these guys have an average I rating in this session alone of about 4,000. So they don't get there by messing around. Joey Lingrun, I talked about this earlier. These are pros. 6,000 I rating. And if you don't know what that means he has beat people so many times and taken their points that he has 6,000 of them. Where good dirt drivers, your moderates, your ones that run the officials, usually have about 1,000, 2,000.
Yeah, I was going to say between 15 and 2,500 is usually the norm. So the fact that heat race was averaging 4,000 is nothing short of spectacular. Bear with me, folks, as I am having a little bit of technical difficulties here. The live timing and scoring HUD just crashed on me.
Oh, don't worry about it. It absolutely hates heat racing, and it hates these.
It does.
It hates these dirt sprint cars, but we'll keep you posted. That's why we follow the action, folks. Appreciate all the chats, of course, everybody. Anne-Marie, love to see you in here. Very much appreciate you and everybody coming out here to support John and Aiden, and most importantly, the family. I did post the GoFundMe link in both YouTube and Facebook. You can go follow that. So far, over $1,600 raised for this cause, and a lot of other goodies you talked about in the beginning of the show. So, hey, if you got $5, you can go without a coffee tomorrow. Go ahead and throw it in there. We sure would appreciate it.
Final heat race out on track right now. Tim Smith and Blake Giglio going to roll it off from row number 1. Caden Folkerts and Ryan Fruge going to start in row number 2 and starting shotgun on the field. Jonathan Paquette. And we've seen Jonathan quick already here tonight.
Definitely. Jonathan was quick, but Blake Giglio, another driver who's young, getting out here. I've seen his real dirt rig trying to get into this. Really good kids. Timothy Smith, though, 7,000 I rating. He's one of the pros in the Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship. And here they go. They get him rolling. Timothy Smith hits it, gets a good jump on Blake Giglio, who gets in the wall. Blake Giglio in the wall. Packett back there. Fruge getting past.
Giglio
now
still
we're
hanging
side by
tough,
side.
though. Giglio in the 16 being scored as the 5. Let's see if timing and scoring is going to play nice this time. And the answer is no.
No, you can't. You can't get it on heats. But Giglio up there, riding that top line. This is the only driver we've seen in traffic really race that very high line. Usually that's the leaders that are taking that line. Giglio trying to find some speed up there, but there's so many marbles right now. You really want to just follow the fastest, and he is making it work.
He is making it work, but Packett's found something in the middle groove there as the first 2 heat races has kicked up a second cushion off the bottom So Packett right now using that to his advantage to try to reel in Smith, but Smith just keeping these guys in check because we are already 6 to go here in this 10-lap heat race as Smith very uncharacteristically jumped the cushion there. Let's keep an eye on your race leader. You see just how close he's getting to that Armco barrier on the outside of this track, just threatening to wear that white lettered Hoosier lettering completely off that tire if he's not careful.
Yeah, luckily the tire pressure in there. These are they got some strength into them as Giglio is just trying to get that perfect run off the outside. Gets it through 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 just cannot keep up with it. As had it happened, there we go. As I talked about it, that bottom line has worn itself out. Giglio got him up in the nasty stuff up there. Has some grip on that right rear.
He does at that, but Packett continues to run that slider line on the low side as Packett and Giglio have not gotten away from each other since the drop of the green, as Packett finally got up to Giglio. And, Giglio's handing him all he can handle right now, but don't count out Ryan Fruge, as he's right there as well. If those two guys tangle, Fruge has enough distance to them to be able to take evasive action.
Definitely, and what we see here is everybody trying to kind of figure out their line. It's simple math, guys. The inside of the track, especially on a big one like this, is the shortest way around. So theoretically, if you can get a tiny amount of grip back there, you should be fastest, as it's going to be a race to the line. Give it to Blake Giglio. Wow. By 0.02 seconds for second place.
Absolutely. As we are going to bring up the way that they just finished in heat race number 3. There you see it there. Tim Smith walking away with it 1.5 seconds to the good over Blake Giglio. And look at the distance, or the time difference between Giglio and Packett. That's about half a car length at the speeds these guys are traveling. I mean, they're hauling it off into turn number 1 and turn number 3 close to 155 miles an hour. That's insane.
Yeah, it's these things are nuts. They're just so fast, so powerful. You can't full hammer down with these things. You got to be very, very precise in your movements, very precise in what you decide to do with those turns you got. And then, like we said, you've got to find the right line that gets you some grip. And with the setup, 2 people could have 2 completely different cars here at Knoxville, and it's not going to work where you want it to sometimes.
And they are at that, as apparently not.
Seems like iRacing has decided to throw up a little bit of an issue, so we might be having a bit of an extended intermission here.
Well, they are
trying to figure out the feature.
They are in the warm-up session, and it's not that they're trying to figure out the feature. They're going over with the drivers right now what is about to happen, is they're going to do the feature in 2 stages. So while we are under that condition and drivers doing final tweaks and adjustments to their setups to figure out what they've got to do for the 50-lap feature, we are going to throw it trackside to Mr. Terry Adams with tonight's national anthem.
drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Well, oh, the wreckage! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
And we are back at the John Bierlein King of the Dirt Memorial Series race number 5. And a little bit of a glitch in the matrix is iRacing not playing nicely, as they were going to break the actual race up into 2 segments. And unfortunately iRacing not playing fairly right now, so we are just waiting for the new session to go up, at which point we're going to jump over to that and continue the racing here tonight. As just in the warm-up session right here, and I'm just taking a look at the times. Aiden Bierlein currently sitting atop the pile. Over 2/10 to the good over anything Trevor Meyer, David Allen, and Joey Lingrun can place to try to reel him in. So Aiden kind of hyped up for this one, and I believe, yes, she is, as Miss Anne-Marie Bierlein, Aiden's mom, is going to be joining us now. And Anne-Marie, we have seen a ton of action already here tonight at
Yep, we're at Knoxville.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, it's just all the technical glitches that are going on right now. Kind of, as I am just trying to get to where I need to get things up and running. But Anne-Marie, talk us through what your thought process was when you saw your boy jump out to the lead in his heat race.
Of course, it was awesome. You know, this is our favorite, the 410 sprints. That's Aiden's dream one day, to be able to drive them in real life. And John just absolutely loved these things. They're a beast to drive, too. Aiden's actually had me in the sim trying to race them, and I don't know how they race them. But it was fun seeing him do that, doing what he loves. He was doing great out there, and this is a fun track, a fast one. But he's got some great drivers here, so it's going to make a great race, very entertaining.
It absolutely is at that, as we are just trying to...
So, Ms. Bierlein, I know you guys have been fans of racing. Tell us, without giving too much away, what's your home track, and then what's your favorite track? Have you been to any of the real shows?
Actually, are you talking about for the 410 sprints?
Yes.
Anything.
Yeah, and we went to the World of Outlaws. Where did we go to? We went to Lincoln, which is in PA. Of course, we're in Virginia, so we go to PA a lot. That was an awesome track. Also, Port Royal, I have to say, is one of my favorites too.
Yeah, I would have to agree. So, while you were there, just in person, can you kind of convey to everybody what these things feel like when they run by?
Oh my gosh, like I had no idea. The first one we went to was last year, and John got to go with us. at that time, and it was amazing. They were ready for it. I wasn't. I was like, oh my gosh, you want to race these in real life? I don't know about that from a mom's standpoint, but they, oh my gosh, it's just, the feeling is amazing. They are fast. The entertainment too. They like the slide jobs that they're doing, the racing. I mean, I don't know how they do what they do, but it's definitely fun to watch.
Yeah, that
definitely,
is.
especially when you get there. Kind of like my first experience was those hometown dirt tracks. You don't really get the feel. Everyone go out and support your local tracks, but these 410s, man, if you go somewhere like that, it's kind of life changing to feel and hear and all the sights and sounds of a race.
Well, I mean, when you figure you've got 900 horsepower and there's 23 to 25 cars out on track for the A feature, that's ground shaking.
Oh yeah, it definitely gave me the chills when I was there. It was something. And then if you go in the infield, that was just even more. I mean, you're right down there with them. I just couldn't get over it. I'm hooked.
So who can we blame for getting Aiden to want to be in these things? I say it's mom and dad who took him to a race, gave him his first taste.
There you go.
Oh yeah, it's probably our fault. We're first generation racers, so it's definitely our fault. But it's fun, and they kind of talked me into it, like just getting into racing altogether. And I was like, I don't know, but I think I'm just as hooked as them now.
Well, the thing is, they probably did the worst thing they could have done for you being a debutante to the real world of motorsport. They took you to two of the best tracks and some of the best drivers in the country coming out of the PA area. When the Outlaws come to town, they call them the PA Posse for a reason, because they're really one of the few groups that run together weekly that can actually take it to the touring pros.
Oh yeah, that's what's amazing, to see these local guys go out there and even beat the pros. I've seen that over and over again, and that's just great. PA Posse definitely rocks.
They do at that. But one of your fellow Virginians reaching out and helping getting Aiden back in the car, we touched on that during the pre-race. But how big is that for your family right now?
Oh, that's just huge. I mean, racing was always our outlet. When you go racing, it's so much fun, and you have to focus so much, whether it be in karts or anything else. And it's just like an outlet for us. And to be able, we really missed it. We always joke that we're having withdrawals. And we miss our racing family too. But just being able to know that we have a chance to go back out there and get Aiden behind the wheel it's just amazing. I can't tell you how great of a feeling that is, and we feel so blessed.
Well, thank you so much for, coming into the booth to talk with us here. We're going to let you hop away so that Aiden can get some hot lap sessions here in the new session, as it is up, and we are just coming into it now. And, Anne-Marie, thank you so much for allowing us to bring these races to the masses.
Oh, well, thank you, everybody, again. Josh and Dave and everybody helping put this on. You guys for broadcasting, and all our family and friends for watching and supporting, and all the drivers. We have a great group of drivers tonight, so it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Anne-Marie, again, best of luck to you and Aiden here tonight, as we are getting ready to come to a close here in the hot lap session, as we are high above the Knoxville Speedway here in Knoxville, Iowa. Packed grandstand, and we're only in the warm-up session. And John, we're in for a treat tonight, because I just received word we're going 4 wide for the parade lap.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if it's going to be an interesting race here. They're working right now to get that thing lined out, get all that rubber in the new track. They sent the water truck out, and nobody knew he was going out there, so the water truck is out there. We had to rodeo him off, and now we're going to set this track back in with a 25-lap heater, and then another 25-lap race immediately following. So we're going to get a little intermission between these races.
This is actually going to be the A feature, but it's going to be done in 2 stages.
Correct.
And there's going to be no inversion. It's going to be a straight-up start. How you finish in the first 25 laps is how you're going to start in the second.
Yeah, and it's going to be kind of a blessing for some of these guys who kind of want to get the bad juju off that they were in last race. Now they're going to have an opportunity. It's a new track, new session. Go out there, work it in the way you want to work it, as we're watching this thing update live. So it's very exciting to be able to see that race update and get worked in after the debacle of our boss over here. I think John Leach was in the water truck that got sent out there.
Well, that would explain why he hit the wall 4 times.
Definitely. So, whoa, as we just... I don't know if you're watching the same camera I am, but somebody just showed us why you can't go sliding into that outside wall.
Yeah, that Armco is no bueno. Especially on the exit of 4. We saw it there. You can see it on the bottom left of your screen when the car just tagged that Armco, where the Armco actually meets the concrete on the front stretch. So, you know, everybody's experimenting right now. They're using this to kind of figure out what changes they're going to need to make. You know, because the only adjustment they're going to have once we go green, at least in the first segment, is they're only going to be able to adjust wings. You know, and as the track starts to slick off, you're going to see that wing move further and further to the back of the car. We might be able to go on board, as I believe we were able to get a GoPro on Aiden's helmet tonight. But and I know we've got one on Mason Coffey's helmet tonight. So definitely 2 of the drivers to keep an eye on, as just waiting for the checkers to fly here in the hot lap session as they're trying to work the track back in. And you can see that there's 2 grooves forming at the bottom of your screen. That is 1 and 2. And you can see that there's a low line, and then there's a middle line, and then the dark area at the very top is the cushion, as a couple guys just blast through that like it's not existent. But, you know, it's so hard to run that cushion because you're coming into the corner. You know, let's take a look at one of the dashboards right now as... Let's go here. This is with Mason Coffey. You can see the dashboard on the right of your screen. Down the straightaway at 137 miles an hour. Good grief.
Yeah, that'll definitely do it. As these drivers are no stranger to just getting in there and throwing that thing in, especially here at Knoxville. It is an absolutely wild show that I'm really happy to be a part of, as we can see what we're seeing. Wow, there are cameras here.
I mean, right now we're able to see the entire track as we are on board with the Goodyear blimp high above Knoxville. Let us know who you're rooting for tonight. In the Facebook, we do have the chat open there. You can find that on the Sim Racing Media Facebook page. Want to thank everybody who has already, been with us there. And thank you so much for making that chat so active. We thank everybody for joining us tonight. And if you're over on the YouTube side of things, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, because every thumbs up a video gets on our YouTube channel, it really does aid in sharing these videos with the rest of the community. It's more likely to show up on someone's homepage.
Yeah, every time we say that, people, even when I hear it from another video, I'm like, oh, they're just trying to get likes or whatever. No, having been in this industry for as long as we have, the likes we don't get nothing from that. What it does is it puts this content and what we do for the drivers, for the shows we're putting on, it puts them in front of more people. Okay, so that every like, comment, subscribe, share, blah, blah, blah. Don't spend a dime on our channel. Don't spend a dime on our channel, but do hit that like button. Get it in front of more people. Let it recommend to more people, so these drivers can show off the amazing paints they've got up there and their skills we're about to see.
As the first half of the A features getting ready to roll on off here, starting grid looks like this. Jonathan Packett out of California going to be starting up on the point. He's going to be joined with Mason Coffey. Heavy Allen and I'm completely wrong on that. Is everybody taking
Everybody's
action?
gonna get a circle up here. We probably won't even have a real lineup until we get going, but we'll get that to you as quickly as possible. Just because SDK absolutely hates sprint cars, as we are going to get a 4-wide salute. We're going to go silent here in a moment once they get that all formed up, and just one of my favorite things.
We're not necessarily going to go quiet, but we are definitely going to be vocal about it, as the field is rolling right now. Chevy Silverado Pace Truck is way up the track, as we're just trying to get everybody lined up here. As here comes, and behind the wheel of the 13 right now is Miss Anne-Marie Bierlein, as we are going to run a little bit of a missing man formation, as everybody trying to get 4 wide right now. And I'm not sure if everybody realizes what's supposed to be happening.
Yeah, I believe right now what they're doing, they're setting up the lineup that's going to be for the race.
Gotcha.
Then they're going to go to that formation. So one of the benefits of iRacing doing what it does and messing up here on the last night of racing.
And you know, if you've missed this series, I will be going through tomorrow afternoon, and posting all 3 previous videos that we here at Sim Racing Media and the eSports Broadcasting Network have done for this series. We're going to post those on our YouTube channel to kind of archive them so that you can go back and watch at any time, as they are still working on getting that format lined out. As it looks like we do have the 4 wide right behind, 3 wide anyways, right behind Miss Anne-Marie Bierlein, as this is a salute to John. Ladies and gentlemen, you wanted the best. You've got them 4 abreast right now. The often imitated, never duplicated John Bierlein Memorial Sprint Car Race here from Knoxville. Let us know in the live chat that you're rooting for your favorite driver. Wave your hands, wave your arms, wave whatever you can right now, as we are following along with Anne-Marie Bierlein behind the wheel of her son's 13, as Aiden going to be starting up on the point for this one after winning his heat race.
The great showing, definitely deserves to be out front. I love to see it, and I couldn't write it up any better. Usually the driver that leads these things around, these memorial 4-wide salutes, missing man formation, these things, usually you see them kind of slink off back to where they originally were in the grid, but not tonight. Aiden doing a fantastic job in the heat. He wanted to see that thing up front. He's got it there.
We could not have scripted this any better. As you can see, there's Anne-Marie behind the wheel of Aiden's number 13 right now. She's going to jump out of the sim and let Aiden jump into it, as they are 4 wide with a missing man formation behind them. As you can see, Lingron, Smith, and Allen start to peel on off now, going for the lineup as Anne-Marie pulls it down onto the apron to let Aiden kind of get there. So,
and if you're wanting to see a preview of how this race could possibly go, we might see a little bit of that exact shot after a restart or two here at the 25 lap mark when we get going. It's going to be a hornet's nest in the middle of this field, and Aiden has the benefit of being out in front of that nest.
He absolutely does, as of course the grid is not showing properly for us, but one thing that should is this. So let's bring up that right there. Currently up in the front row, it's Joey Lingrun, as we were just waiting for Aiden Bierlein to get up to him. Aiden's going to have to hustle it here, as he's being scored as a lap down. If you can go tell them, James.
Say again?
tell them that Aiden's being scored as a lap down. So they cannot go green yet. But Aiden and Joey, Tim Smith and David Allen making up row number 2. Jason Waller Jr. and Blake Giglio going to make up row number, row number 3. Heavy D. Allen and Gary Halsey going to make up row number 4. Row 5 is going to see Brandon Veers and Sarah Eves. Ryan Frug and Trevor Meyer in row 6. Row 7 is going to go to Caden Folkerts, with Jesse Hare and Mason Coffey starting shotgun on the field here tonight. As there we go. Aiden is now back on the lead lap in pole position where he should be. We are going green next time by.
It's going to be exciting. Aiden's going to have the button. That green flag's going to come out as we have the 16 right now. That's Blake Giglia, or no, that's Lindgren. I'm sorry, Joey Lindgren there. It's going to be a blast here. 6,000 IR all in the top 4.
As the field works its way into the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to do is wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some popcorn because it's time to get it on in Knoxville. Race fans, it's showtime!
Showtime it is. Aiden Bierlein getting a huge run off the top. Lindgren trying to follow it up. Smith on the bottom, nowhere else to go. Aiden has his choice of lane. He can do whatever he wants with it, and he's deciding to stay up in that almost a slider line that we've seen these drivers preferring. Here in third, David Allen and Timothy Smith not sorted out. And it's going to be a race where you don't know when the battle's happening until we're coming out of turns number 2 and 3.
Absolutely, as Tim Smith working the top shelf in the 86, being scored as the 10, unfortunately, as he is right now side by side with David Allen. Both those guys have shown speed all night.
Yeah, they're having to make some quick decisions here. Timothy Smith runs off his line, drops to the bottom. You got to find speed where you can get it. He's going to get that slider, and there we go. It's coming back on him. The 01 trying the high line. Defending is the 86, that gold paint. What a blast we're having here in third. Aiden Bierlein just put down the fastest lap of the race.
And Joey Lindgren just immediately bumped him off of it with a 15.46.
Yeah, about a second gap or half a second back to him.
1/100th.
Oh, I'm talking about as far as total gap there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, quick races, quick laps being scored down. Aiden trying to just get away so he can run his preferred line here. But this quickest battle, we got Jesse O'Hare, Ryan Fuge trying to work there in the back, 13, 14, a little bit of slider job going on.
Packett in there.
These guys are banging it out.
Absolutely, is Jonathan Packett in there as well. Not showing the speed he showed in the wingless sprints the other night. And here comes the 65 of Fruge to the inside. And you can see that it's starting to slick off just outside of that berm where they were trying to put the right rear tire down on the inside lane. And then it's nothing but slick on the exit of 3 and the entrance of 3 and the exit of 4. It is nothing but glare right there.
Yeah, nothing but...
contact!
Oh, that's going to be Mason Coffey bringing out the caution. He got turned around. That wing's a little bit damaged. Luckily, I think he's got a backup they can go to after these 25 laps, but he's got to keep that thing out there. He doesn't want to go any laps down.
Absolutely, as definitely going to need to... we are going to back this up now. Let's see that again of course. All right, let's do it this way. There you see Coffey on the top shelf flirting with that Armco, and the 57 had already gotten into the Armco, just came off of it, and nowhere to go. Mason Coffey goes up and over and completely annihilates that Aero wing on the top of this piece.
Yeah, definitely. And just to as we were talking about this race in the bottom, and this is what you gotta be careful. You cannot fly into that wall. It's not going to catch you. No safer barriers here in dirt. But Aiden, while we were talking, put down a 15.32. To put that in perspective, the average fastest lap of this race is about 15.7. The fastest lap that anybody, real life, has ever put down on this track is Brian Brown put down on May 22nd a 14.35. So less than a second away from the fastest speed that is ever put down on this track in real life.
Right, but if you go back to qualifying, Aiden wasn't that far off. I mean, they were deep into the 14s. I think he went 14.4 something. So he wasn't that far off the real world quick time after on a track that has already been beaten and abused.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what I love to see about these drivers and what they're able to do with these things. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some homework, and then I'll get back to you on some what I want to see that time and how it compared.
Sounds like a game plan. As Bierlein going to have the button as the field comes out of turn number 4, jumps on the loud pedal. Smith looking to go with him as Smith down on the low side. Bierlein and company up on the high side. They're 3 wide for third. It was Smith, Allen, and Waller going door to door.
Definitely, these guys are racing hard, trying to get in position for the finale here, and that's what we love to see. That's why we're here. As where are we? In the back, there we go. Bierlein, not as good of a restart as he wanted to have. Into the wall a little bit. That's going to slow him down. Luckily, he has that cushion to get the push, and he is right there. The 16 trying to get up there.
Both
Nothing
those
doing
guys,
right now.
both those guys wearing that Hoosier lettering off the right rear tire. As Smith right now on the low shelf, giving Bierlein all he can handle on the top shelf. And Smith now going to slide into second, going to change lanes with Joey Lingrun. Lingrun goes down to that second cushion that's on the very bottom, trying to find any little bit of moisture he can get. Slide job on Smith, coming through 3 and 4. Lingrun jumps the cushion. Smith gets back by him as now Aiden Bierlein has about a half a second breathing room between himself and that battle for second.
If you're rooting for Bierlein, you are rooting for this fight to keep on going in second. He's watching the rear view mirror that these things don't have, but they want to fight. These guys, we lost a wing. No, never mind, disregard. But these guys, every time they go off that line, they're losing time, and that's what Aiden wants to see. Currently a 10th lap faster every time, and that might as well be a mile here in the sprints.
Absolutely. There's 6 laps to go in this first segment of the A feature here from Knoxville for the John Bierlein King of the Dirt Memorial Series, race number 5. It all gets settled tonight. And as we heard in the pre-race when we were talking with the sponsors and everybody before the race, every driver so far that has finished in a paid position in these races has donated all the funding back to the Bierlein family. And this is one of those deals where it's going to a very good cause. John and Anne-Marie exposing their young son Aiden, who is just on another level tonight, up at the front of this piece. They took him to his first sprint car race or race period, and the entire family really got hooked because, and James, I'm sure you can attest to this, going to your local short track, it's a completely different feel than what you see on a Saturday night or Sunday afternoon on those televised major network broadcasts.
Yeah, definitely, as Aiden has absolutely stepped it out. Everybody else usually pretty sorted out through the field. Timothy, Joey, David, Jason, your top 5. But it's a completely different ball game to feel it in person. And the only thing that she probably could have done worse was taking him to a fishing tournament and bought him a boat. But we absolutely, this is the right choice. It's a lot more fun to be in these sprint cars as heat number 1 is out of there. Aiden Bierlein
Well, it's
taking
not,
the pole.
It's not exactly heat number 1. That was actually the first segment of the A feature.
Feature part 1. There we go.
As there you see the finishing results. Ignore what it says at the top of the screen. Aiden Bierlein coming home with the victory. Tim Smith, Joey Lingron, David Allen, and Jason Waller Jr. rounding out your top 5. Blake Giglio, Brandon Veers, Garrett Holsey, Heavy Allen, and Ryan Fruge rounding out your top 10. And that is pretty much how they're going to start here. We did have one driver not make it into the new session, so we were left with 16 starters. Jesse Hare coming home 10 laps down.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Had to go to the back of the field for that issue, but just a couple things here. I like to focus on Aiden. He's done such a good job, and of course, this is all for this is the John Bierlein Memorial Series. It's going to be every year. Hopefully, we have them back next year here on Sim Racing Media. But wherever they are, we'll be tuning in. But it's for the family, right? Aiden,
Absolutely.
Mrs. Anne Marie. I'm sorry. This is what it's for. So to focus and tell you kind of how this kid's career is progressing, and I say that with the utmost respect, right? These kids are coming in absolutely whooping our butts in just about everything. So put some respect on it. But Aiden, if you can guess what his win percentage in the dirt oval is, Tony, overall, out of, let me get here, 356 starts, give me an over-under on what you think his win percentage is in officials.
50%.
Well, he kind of blew me out of the water there with 25%.
Okay.
Out of every race this guy has been in,
he's one out of every 4 races.
1 out of every 4. Top 5 percentage, that's closer, about 70%.
Good grief.
If there's a race that this kid is in, odds are, betting money, he's going to be in the top 5.
He's finishing in the money is what you're saying.
100%. This absolutely fantastic. I'm looking at these things. Average start 5th, average finish 4th, 76 poles in dirt oval. This year,
how many poles?
76.
Good grief.
243 top 5s. This year alone, dirt oval, he has a 72% top 5 percentage, 40% win percentage, and 103 starts. So keep an eye on this kid. If we can get him in a rig, we know we talked about it last time. He's in the cards. He really enjoys the real life stuff. We've seen that the skill in the server translates to real life.
Oh, absolutely.
We've seen it in if you follow NASCAR, one of my favorite drivers, William Byron, started exactly the same way that Aiden and a lot of these guys are in here. He started on the sim. His parents bought him a sim. He got in there, showed himself. They bought him a car. They got him running. And look at where he is right now. And I just wish the best for the Bierleins. And just, it's hard to tell people that aren't in the sim, that don't understand that, it's hard to tell people that this isn't a video game. This is a simulation that NASCAR, Knoxville, the sprint cars, roads, all of those guys endorse this as the most realistic that you can get.
A lot of drivers use this if they're going to a track that they've never been before. They'll jump in the servers here in iRacing, go to that track, and kind of learn the layout, at least, of the track so that they know what corners follow each other. As the second half of the A feature, next 25 laps rolling off right now. Aiden Bierlein, Tim Smith going to roll it off row number 1. Joey Lingrun and David Allen making up row number 2. Jason Waller and Blake Giglio in row number 3 with Brandon Veers and Garrett Halsey in row number 4. James?
Row number 5 is going to be Garrett Halsey and Ryan Fuge. Then we got, they're sorting it out here, but it's going to be about Trevor Meyer and Mason Coffey. Then we got Jonathan Pickett and Caden Folkwarts.
Actually, it's Heavy Allen and Ryan Fruge in row 5. Row 6 is going to Sarah and Trevor. Mason Coffey and John Packett going to roll it off in row 7, with row 8 going to Caden Folkerts, as Jesse Hare has decided to put it on and leave it on the hauler.
Definitely. So here we go. Coming to green, Aiden Bierlein has the button. It's going to be on him. Once that pace car gets off, he has the go-ahead to get going. But just to cap off that conversation I was having, man, this kid's going places. He's not good at a video game. He's a good driver.
Well, you take a look at who he's got for mentor. Hermie Sadler made it to the highest level in NASCAR for quite a few years. And, he's agreed to take Aiden under his wing and kind of help him improve his racecraft, which, from the looks of it, there's not a whole lot that needs to be improved there.
There we go. First lap in the books. Aiden up in that cushion, getting all the grip that he can. Timothy Smith learned something. He's going to stay up there, not going to defend. Joey lingering as hard this time. Joey trying to work the bottom. David Allen not too far behind. He's waiting for these guys to tangle as the fireworks are going off on the infield. So keep an eye on Blake Giglio, one of the other young guns to keep an eye on. He's kind of in the same boat as Aiden. Is just these kids, these young adults coming in here. They're going to take over things with the tools that they have online and the tools that they have under their belts. As Joey Lindgren getting passed here by David Allen.
Well, not for long.
He's stuck in the middle.
Yeah, as Lindgren now goes through the slick stuff, that's going to let Allen get to his inside, get to a slider line. Is he going to go up and throw the block? Not so much. He's going to try to keep it pinched low, driving off that left rear tire in the 1. Currently being scored as the 5, by the way.
Yeah, that's what do you say always, Tony? That's
this is why we don't let
drink.
This is why we don't let tech officials drink while handing out transponders.
They get them mixed up, but that is all right, folks, as we're going halfway through the field here. Heavy Allen into it with the Uncrustables 3 machine. That is great. Ryan Fuge up there as well. Trevor Meyer, Caden Folcourt. Yeah, we've heard him. Mike Farron says we refer to these kids as aliens. That's true, because they are just absolutely outpacing us in everything. As we got a wreck in the back. I believe that's Halsey involved.
Oh. Something happened with Yerby's. Let's take a look at what did happen to Sarah here. This is coming out of 4, the lap prior to the checkers, or the caution coming out. See her down on the low side into the slick stuff. She's going to drift up. And she's at, oh my. There's the 88 going around in front of her. And I believe that was Caden Folkitz. Yes, it was. No, it wasn't.
It
was Garrett Halsey.
Seems like Ryan Fouget is going to be scored on that one as causing that one. Again, while we have the yellow here, we're not going to go to commercial. Strictly, we don't have time. These sprints are just so fast, so nasty. But I will do want to mention the GoFundMe for John and his family is there in the chat. You can go ahead. Oof.
We were just watching that again. The 65 just completely annihilated the 88, and Yerby's having absolutely nowhere to go. Gets caught up in that melee.
Definitely, but as I was saying, that GoFundMe is in the chat. Hit that line if you have $5. You don't want to take a coffee. You don't go to McDonald's tomorrow. It's bad for your body. Instead, put that $10, 10, 20, 30, hell, whatever you got, in that GoFundMe. Help this family out. They've already raised over $1,600 alone just from this race that we put on. And if you know anything about racing, we want to get them as much as possible to help Aiden follow his dream and kind of step up where we can.
And James, I don't know if you saw the comment that was in the live chat over on the Facebook side of things. Aiden made his pro sprint car debut last year, the youngest driver in iRacing so far to get a pro license, to make the top 15, or make the top at 15 years old.
Definitely. He's got the skill. Here he goes. He had the button as well. He's going to take it, try and get the edge and get up to that top line. He does so. He's not going to get it easy, folks. These guys aren't giving it to him. They want to win just as much as anything else. Timothy Smith takes the slider. Aiden is right back at it with the comeback. There he goes, blocks off that top line. That's what we only see, and this is what we're going to see for the next 10 or 20 laps, folks. These guys just going hammer and tongs, as my counterpart likes to say. Bam! Look at that. Look at that crossover, trying to get that spot back, diving to the bottom. They're putting on a clinic right here.
They absolutely are.
And Aiden, 7,000 IR between them. Absolutely showing these drivers how to race these things.
It's like two kids in the backseat of a minivan on a summer vacation road trip. You know, just, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. Yes, you are. Don't make me turn this minivan around, kids. No, Dad, you want to go to Dollywood just like the rest of us, so calm yourself down.
There he goes. They're doing it behind him as well. Lindgren and Allen kind of watching and playing hide and seek. We got a car in the wall. Aiden Bierlein scored in the number 1 spot as we go to caution here.
It looks like Heavy Allen getting a piece of it. Let's see what happened to Heavy here. Well, there you see the 48 a packet. Oh!
Dickey strikes.
Oh my goodness. Well, there's our first, thank God this is a simulator moment of the night.
Definitely.
There you see Allen in the 13, being scored as the 14.
There's Blake Giglio being scored with that one. Counting it as a cut down, they're counting it against Blake. Unfortunately, that spun around the 13, and they're going to give Blake the EOL, so he's got some work to do for the next 40 laps.
He does at that. So now we reset the field here. Looks like Aiden Bierlein. What? So it looks like Tim Smith had the nose out front as the caution came out. So Smith going to have the button this time. Bierlein going to start to his outside. Lindgren and Allen, Waller and Veers, Myers and Halsey, Fruge and Giglio rounding out your top 10 right now. 14 laps to go. We'll restart with 13 to go as the pace truck picks up a little bit of speed down the back straightaway here at Knoxville. Thank you all so much for joining us for the John Bierlein King of the Dirt Memorial. Night number 4, race number 5, as they had a doubleheader on Sunday. As the field works its way through the 3-4 complex, pace truck peels off coming out of 4. Smith has the button, pulls the trigger, and we are back underway. As Lindgren getting a much better start than Bierlein. Bierlein under heavy pressure right now as he's 3 wide for 3rd, using that top shelf, just wearing the lettering off that right rear Hoosier tire up on the rub rail.
Yeah, now Timothy had the button with Aiden on the top side, so Aiden having to fight a little bit for this one as Timothy not letting that go. They're just rubbing and racing, and
Bierlein's into the wall. Oh my.
Bierlein's in the fence. Luckily, I believe they have an extra car there. That's why that line is so fast, is because it's so dangerous. Luckily, Bierlein able to get that thing rolling. He's going to be able to get it to the pits. No cautions on the yellows.
Let's go back and take a look at how that one sorted itself out, as we are going to go. This is what the chopper picked up. There you see him into 1, just beating and banging on that Armco barrier. Gets the wall, gets up on it, sends the car for a ride, and 1 absolutely nowhere to go, just doors him.
Yeah, definitely. Very unfortunate that the accident happened, but actually, you know, it's not all bad for Aiden. He wasn't stuck on his side, stuck on his roof. He did not have to tow.
Right.
Able to get that thing in and get that fast repair, hopefully getting the crew to work on it. So let's see. A lot of work to do here, but we've seen it happen before. These sprint cars are fast, and if you've got the speed to work that top line, look for Aiden coming through the field.
We absolutely can at that. Any damage that was on that car now gone, as they did go to the backup immediately. 12 laps to go. We're going to restart with 11 to go, so 11 lap shootout to determine who is going to win here at Knoxville for the John Bierlein King of the Dirt Memorial. Thank you so much for joining us on Sim Racing Media and the eSports Broadcasting Network. Tony Trapasso, James Riles up in the booth with you tonight for this one. And James, two guys that love dirt racing, being able to call a sprint car race at the most historic grounds in all of sprint car racing.
Oh yeah, I am definitely excited here. The home of sprint car racing. As Lindgren and Smith, now Lindgren going to have his opportunity to get up there. Waller in third, Vyers fourth, Olsey sitting there in first as Timothy Smith gets going, immediately gets into the wall. The wall is not your friend anymore. That line seems to be worn out, but able to get the hop off. Lindgren trying to work the bottom, going to hop up there for a slider whenever he can. Got to really watch your speed because he is down at the very bottom of the racetrack trying to get some traction, and we're going to see what it does here.
Exiting low seems to be the key here tonight because you can see just how shiny and slick that track is right now. It's not taking rubber quite yet. It's just you've worn all the good and packed all the good clay down. There's no moisture left, except where you see the lighter colored dirt right now on the low side.
Look who's in the top three. Look back there. That's the cross of Aiden Bierlein's race car, already back up into the top three. What did we say? He's already in it. Putting down some amazing laps as Timothy Smith is going to get gone. Joey Lindgren trying to work the bottom. He knows he can't really touch Aiden on the top. But wow, Aiden already worked his way back to field, having to cut up. They're not going to give it to him for free, folks. That's not what racing is about, no matter what you're racing for. But Aiden does not care. He is going to get there. He is bound and determined to catch Timothy Smith in the closing laps. About 10 more laps left in this one, folks. Six laps left in it.
As Bierlein passed Lindgren like he had an anchor thrown out. And now you take a look at the last lap time. Smith 16.48, Bierlein 16.23.
Yeah, Bierlein, no surprise. No surprises here. Oh, that wall is so rough. Working, trying to get every inch that he can out of that thing. And that's what we're seeing, folks. He's trying to fight, and look at all that dirt built up on that outside wall. That's what's getting him. Works like a ramp. And that traction on that right rear will definitely grab on that wall, as we're seeing here. But giving him a run for his money. Back, Lindgren's about 2 seconds back. No one's even close to these guys.
Absolutely not. Is this battle for the lead? Smith has it. Bierlein wants it back. As you mentioned, 2.5 seconds to the good over your current second place, Joey Lindgren, who is another second to the good over Jason Waller. And the field getting pretty strung out, except for the last couple spots at the top 10. But with 2 laps to go, we're going to stick with this battle for the race lead. Smith has it. Lindgren's going to have one more shot at him. White flag is out. We are racing back to checkers.
Here we go. It's checkers or wreckers for Bierlein. He's got to get up there. Got to make it work into the wall. Unfortunate, unable to make it, but we're going to see one more opportunity here at the bottom. Timothy Smith is going to come through as your winner, but don't take anything away from Aiden. Went to the back of the field, got a brand new car, and walked right back up through them mugs.
From the front to the back, back to the front. As Bierlein coming home in second. Tim Smith just ran a solid race. He didn't make as many mistakes as the other guys around him. Joey Lindgren was able to hang on to third, going away from Jason Waller in fourth. Brandon Veers was another half second behind Waller, rounding out your top 5. As there we have our top 3 finishers. And that's the camera I was looking for. as we are just waiting for the drivers to join us here in the Discord server. We're going to step away, pay a couple bills, and we will actually, you know what? James, I believe you've got our third place finisher, Joey Lindgren, with you now.
I do. Joey, you started right there in third and were somehow able to keep it there. Tell us about the track and how hard it was to find speed.
Track was really racy. I just couldn't really figure out the top. Kind of went away a little bit towards the, say halfway point. I wasn't really comfortable up there. First half actually was really good on the top. Started going away a little bit, and just didn't have that forward drive we had during that first half of the race. But no, just want to give a big shout out to Trevor Meyer, David Allen, and Timmy Smith. We kind of butted heads on the setup for tonight, and kind of found something that worked. And it was just really good. Hats off to Aiden for driving it from the back up to P2. I really just didn't know who that was, honestly. But no, hats off to them. Great race with Timmy, and yeah.
Definitely. So, Joey, who you got on the car? Who you want to shout out tonight?
Elite Performance Industries. They make probably one of the most comfortable sets I've had. TNL. I'm trying to think. I have my own cinematography, so Jerry Linger photography. And just my big shout out to Heavy D.
Definitely. Well, again, congratulations on the third place finish, and thank you for coming out and supporting such a great cause here today.
Yep, no time.
So
as that is going to be Joey Lindgren, and I believe you're going to have our winner.
No, I got Aiden Bierlein with me right now. And Aiden, all things considered, with as much trouble as you had here in the closing laps, can't be too disappointed. Still coming home on the podium, though one step down from where you were looking to be.
Yeah, for sure. It is what it is. The track was kind of hard to pass, but I just knew if I sent it, I either flip it or I win the race. And fortunately, at the end, I found the in-between, just got stuck on the wall and got off of it. But heck of a show coming from the back like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely was. Antonio, I'll break the news here, and then I'll let you continue. Aiden, congratulations on being crowned the first King of the Dirt due to all your results so far. So congratulations on that. It's about the championship, right? You got it.
Yeah, for sure. I just knew if I finished, top 5 every race, top 5 every race, I will have it. And some people didn't show up every week. They like sprint cars or they just like fender cars, and I just knew, staying consistent would be the key.
Absolutely, Aiden. From what we've seen from the drop of the first green flag last week till, tonight, I honestly think Hermie Sadler just stole one from the racing community. Being as if you can keep your head about you, and I believe you're going to be able to do that with, your mom's support. I dare say that we're talking to a future, racing Hall of Famer right now.
Yeah, man, I hope so. It's been my dream. Honestly, I didn't know that much about racing when I was like about 5 or 6 years ago. I just started watching NASCAR, then I found out about sprint car racing. Enjoyed that a lot more. Got into racing real life go-karts, and then I found iRacing and just put in a lot of work. Realized I had a knack for it, I guess some people would say, and it's just been an amazing journey so far.
Well, there's got to be something in the water up there in Virginia. Some of the best talents throughout the country have come out of that state. So, Aiden, congratulations on the podium here tonight at Knoxville and for clinching the John Bierlein King of the Dirt Memorial Trophy.
Yeah, man, thank you.
Aiden, who do you need to thank before we turn you loose?
Yeah, first off, I just got to thank my mom for always supporting me, Jesus Christ, my dad up in heaven watching down. I'm sure he's helping me out. I'm sure he helped me at the end, give me a little speed boost, hopefully. Also, everyone on iRacing that supports me, y'all, for putting on an amazing event. Team ABR eSports, ABR Setup Shop, Redline Race Designs, and Josh for putting on an amazing event.
All right, Aiden, go celebrate with your mom and give that lady a big hug.
Yep, thank you.
And James, I believe you've got the man who came home on the top of the podium tonight with you now.
Yeah, Timothy, man, congratulations. Probably Tim preferred.
Yeah, thank you. It was a wonderful event, and we finally got on the top here. Ran 2 races. The format was ran really good, and I was playing defense mainly the whole race. Aiden was really fast there. I was worried about him the last lap there.
Yeah, definitely able to come through. And you're a fellow pro racer here at the World of Outlaws. What is it like coming out to these exhibitions and still trying to put out your all and make it happen and get the dub? What does it mean here?
Well, it means a lot. It's obviously for charity for the unfortunate event that happened to the Aiden's family. But I mean, you can use that as a test. I was mainly here for him, though. But definitely give it your all. I raced him the best I raced him. He was definitely the faster guy. It's all about those mistakes. I just feel like I made less mistakes than him, and that's what got it done.
Yeah, and as we were talking, we talked about through the heats, how different was the track from those heats where you could work the bottom to that final lap of the final feature?
It was very different. The heat races, you're mainly just wide open, just trying to keep it straight as possible. I mean, there's grip everywhere. Features, I mean, it slicks off more. The lines change around a little bit more. It was mainly the top that race. All the moisture was moved up there, and everybody kind of ran the bottom a little bit too much. So you had a little bit more throttle play. You had to keep the car even a little bit more straighter and just be smooth with it, really.
For sure. So tell us about just who you got on the car, who you want to shout out that helped you get to this victory tonight.
For sure, Elite Performance Industries, 129 Racing, TP Designs. He's an amazing painter. Go to him. Cody Parmley, Trevor Meyer, Joey, Dave. I mean, there's just so many people that put this thing together. I just can't thank for all the support we have right now.
For sure. Well, congratulations, and also just thank you for coming out and supporting such a great cause. I know Aiden and Anne-Marie definitely appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you back here next year.
Yep, and for sure, one more announcement. All the money's going to go to them.
Appreciate that. That's awesome, as we've already raised over $1,600 to the Bierleins, and we appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's all for a great cause.
So there you have it, Tony.
James, we've got another one in the books.
Yeah, another one in the books, and one of my favorite races that I think I've ever called. I hope you guys at home enjoyed it as well. If you've got someone that wants to get into sprint car racing, iRacing, show them this video and how hard it is to get up there, and just watching Aiden go from the rear back to second, and then, of course, Timothy putting in the work, getting the win. This is just how quick it happens.
Absolutely. As we're going to take a look at our final finishing order here for tonight at Knoxville, Tim Smith, Aiden Bierlein, Joey Lingrun, Jason Waller Jr., and Brandon Veers rounding out your top 5. Garrett Halsey, David Allen, Blake Giglio, and Trevor Meyer, along with Ryan Fruge, rounding out your top 10. Caden Folkerts, Jonathan Packett, Heavy Allen, Sarah Yervies, Mason Coffey rounding out the cars that finished in one way, shape, or form, and Jason Hare deciding to put it on the hauler at the end of the first half of the feature.
Definitely. Guys, as always, we appreciate you guys and gals for showing up for a great cause. The GoFundMe is in the comments. You can find that. Go donate $5 or $10 if you got it. Whatever you can give to the Bierleins, we appreciate all of that here at Sim Racing Media over on YouTube at eSports Broadcasting Network. And Tony, send it away.
Well, on behalf of Mr. James Riles and everybody that helped put on the John Bierlein King of the Dirt Memorial Series, this is Tony Trapassa. A reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that until we meet again as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.